A classic Isekai, or so one would think. We have Dead Mount Death play to look at and see if its premiere made a splash or if it's trash. So let's get into it. We begin with lots of action and gore as we see these NPCs get absolutely obliterated. Then comes in the church's secret weapon, Calamity Crusher. Real name, Shagrua Edith Lugrid. Wow, that's a fantasy name if we've ever heard one. The hero is fighting against the corpse god, a necromancer that believes all life is for them to control and they can do as they please. We have great animation in the beginning fight, but not much to discuss here other than magic being used in cool ways. The corpse god doesn't look great, but doesn't look terrible. The fighting, whether it be the clashing of the weapons or the magic being used, definitely more than makes up for how the corpse god look. Speaking of the magic, we have some stellar sequences, such as the souls getting gathered as well as bones to create this dragon. Of course, we have to make our sword bigger, since bigger is always better for slashing, and bam, one mini enemy down. The onlookers are useless as they don't even buff him. Look at this, he has to buff himself. At this point, they are just there to explain things to the viewer. Poor Calamity Crusher, he deserved better help. Of course, we have to get into some backstory as we see the curse both the Calamity Crusher and the corpse god must deal with. It's called the Evil Eye. Not the most creative name, but it gets to the point. It gives the power to see ghosts, everything they've killed, and what is dead around them. Whether that be an ant you just stepped on that decides to come haunt you later, or a human being, you can see all of it. Those with this power turn evil like the corpse god, becoming a necromancer, while some decide to live in seclusion, protected by the church. But not Calamity Crusher. He runs onto the battlefield, tormented by those shades to defeat evil. That's pretty noble of him. That does sound terrible, having to see the dead constantly, and doesn't make it seem like they had peaceful endings, so it's enough to make anyone go crazy. Almost as terrible as these onlookers helping out with only one buff at the end. What even is that? But it's Isekai time, so as our two characters here give the finishing blow, we wake up on Earth. Right from the jump, the body is about to lose their head, but thankfully, it's still slightly connected. Well, I guess we don't have to worry about the reincarnation killing the person, since it seems like another human already did that. We see this guy that oversaw the death while there's tech on their face. He looks like he's going to a rave and hobby on Call of Duty at the same time. He seems surprised that the body is up, so they were definitely confirmed dead. Our main character here gets lost in thought, thinking of the previous world, hoping that it's safe just to walk through the town. And look at this, not one person cares. Even if it seems like you have a second mouth in your throat, Earth. That is until some officers start questioning him while he's covered in blood and they just smile. This is a great segue to see how language and information gets assimilated. The character is able to use that information from the person that died since they took their body. I wonder if it's just information is stored or some of the personality. But we don't have enough time to ponder that question as a girl Goomba stops on the officer and takes him away. Our character here slowly gets their memories, learning their name is Polka, and this girl appears in the memories as she's smiling in it. But that smiling seems a little suspicious, compounded with the fact she's shaking him down, launching him into the air, landing, well, we all know where. It turns out that Misaki here was the one that put a crowbar in his throat. A crowbar is a very effective weapon. I am team crowbar all the way. She is indeed crazy, so she does what every person should do and pieces right out of there. But of course Misaki's a pro and doesn't let me get far, as we learn she's one of those that get turned on as they fight. I'm not mad at it, but our pal Polka here does not want to give up, fighting tooth and nail to survive. But with little to no magic, a weak new body, and being utterly confused, it's tough. Just as it seems it's over for Polka, they activate the evil eyes as it's a power of the soul, not the body, hitting her with the cold-blooded lines that all lives are his plaything, which sounds very familiar, doesn't it? I feel bad for Misaki. Not that bad. She definitely deserved it, but using magic is like pulling a nuke on someone that can only throw rocks. But all is fair in love and war. Then we are here with the twist, going to the original world. We see it's actually Corpse God that got defeated, but before they got defeated, they used reincarnation magic, putting all those slightly evil things Polka said into perspective. So Polka is not Calamity Crusher, instead they are the Corpse God that took over a corpse. Nice. Polka then says they want a peaceful life, which that intro didn't seem peaceful, but let's see what they create here, as now they are filled with magic power due to the tons of dead souls around them. We start the Grim Reaper game. It involves killing, and yes, more killing, as we already have our first death, although Polka seems surprised. Yeah, humans are quite fragile, and Misaki did not make it through the episode, but his face once he finds out is pretty funny. A decent Isekai so far with some twists. It's hard to say good since we haven't seen the characters too much other than some backstory for our character just to throw us off. The episode is mainly action, which is a good way to get people invested, as you can count me 100% invested. I'm curious what they will continue to take this. I rate this a tentative splash, as I look forward to see how these characters develop. Remember to like the video if you did, dislike if you didn't, subscribe for more content. This has been Anime Disrobed, and Dead Mount Death play has officially been disrobed.